Wow, day 200. I cannot believe it. Never, ever, ever would have thunk it. No way, Jose. But here I am, day 200, coming to you live from Prague. Should I start doing like a Eurovision thing? Hee Sempre dis-moi. That's a funny thing. Okay, so in the last couple of days, I've talked a lot about the end of days, the end of years, end of 2019, start of 2020, etc. And today I thought I would talk about something that's come up for me a little bit, not for me as in I've had to deal with it, but I've seen a few times online over the last couple of days. And that's stuff about shame. Now, shame is a horrible feeling. It really is. And there's a difference between shame and guilt, and sometimes we can confuse the two. Shame can kind of go a lot deep. Guilt is more about the action, whereas shame is more about who you are. And a lot of the time, shame seeps into our lives can seep into our lives, I should say. Was that English? Can seep into our lives from a very, very young age. And a lot of the time it's shame actually about other people. We can feel a lot of shame about our parents or family situations or the amount of money we have, or a lot of the time the shame becomes about who we are, but it's triggered by something external, like your status, also your father getting drunk at a party and you feel shame. Oh my God, none of my friends' fathers do that, therefore I must be a bad person. Shame, 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 shame. And you can until you deal with it, you can carry that shame on forever. Another great example, and one that is personal to me, and Elodie's going to hear this, so Elodie, don't get any ideas. I used to carry this deep shame about being evil, naughty, criminal, because, I took $20, or I can't even remember if it was $20 or $50 out of my mother's wallet one day, handbag one day. And my parents were really good to me with, if I needed money to go out or I needed money for something. We didn't have a lot of money. Let me stress that. Absolutely didn't have a lot of money. Sheriffs knocking on the doors, and there was always a drama around money. But they were always generous to me with that kind of thing. So I vividly remember stealing this money out of Mum's handbag, and for years thought it meant I was a criminal. Like I didn't deserve any good in life, because it just made me such a bad person that I'd taken. And truly, I can't remember if it was $20 or $50 now. So it shows you how insignificant it was. I remember years later talking to Mum about it, and her going, oh yeah, I knew you took that. And it wasn't a big deal to her. Maybe it's something all kids do. I don't know. But I carried it like I was going to say like a badge of honor, but a badge of dishonor, I guess, is more to the point. Carl Jung has a really great quote. Shame is a soul-eating emotion. And it's so true. It's so true. It just like sits there and there like nibble, 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 nibble. And you're the only one that can get yourself out of that place of shame. We don't talk about it. Brene Brown talks a lot about how shame needs to come to the forefront of conversations, because it's the more we talk about these things with like insignificance, comparison, fear, regret, courage, all those things, the more we talk about them, the more we learn that they're not paralyzing, and shame is not shameful. Shame is it's an absolute killer, Yvonne. Totally agree with you. So I just wanted to, because I've seen this a few times in the last couple of days, I wanted to, it triggered thoughts in me about shame and thinking, oh, how did I kind of, work through that stuff? So I wanted to give you some tips on the shame. So one of the tips I'd talk about is talk about it. As I just said, Brene Brown says, get it out there, people. Like, talk about it. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't want to sit and talk to a friend about it, because sometimes, let's face it, sometimes there can be people close in our life that can actually almost be shame triggers. I like tread around that one carefully. So sometimes talking to a friend or family member might not be the best option. If you have a therapist, a coach, a shrink, psychiatrist, sorry, don't mean to be disrespectful, and I mean no disrespect when I say that, talk to them about it. And if you're not at the point where you can talk to someone else about it, talk about it with yourself. I was about to pick up my journal, but I've already packed it. Talk about it with yourself. Write about it. Just get it out. Don't let it be sitting in your heart, eating away at you. Just get it out there, because knowing the story of why you're feeling the shame will help you move forward. Because sometimes you just feel it and you don't necessarily go, oh, it was that moment where that shame was connected to me. Okay, so working out what has caused it and the story behind it can often really, really, really help you. And sometimes that can be enough to actually move forward, just understanding it. Another important thing to do is separate the behavior that caused the shame from who you actually are. So, okay, I've been watching Friends with Elodie. Okay, the shame of Joey throwing his girlfriend's wooden leg in the fireplace, that's the behavior. There's a behavior there that's made him feel the shame. It's very different to who he is as a person, but sometimes we connect the two. So you gotta disconnect them. You gotta disconnect them. Me nicking that money from mum's wallet does not mean I'm a terrible person. The behavior was a bad behavior, okay? It doesn't mean I am a terrible person and don't deserve good stuff because I'm a criminal. I wonder what the statute of limitations is on stealing money from your parents. Should I Google it? Another one is know what triggers those feelings of shame, because sometimes it can be something you consider so insignificant, or to other people might be really insignificant, and you might go, ugh, and it just makes all that shame boil up, okay? An example of a behavior that may cause you feelings of shame would be cheating, okay? So cheating on a lover, cheating on a lover, and then you might see a person that reminds you of the person you cheated on or you cheated with, and that triggers that, oh, I'm the world's worst person feelings. So knowing what triggers how you feel is a really good way to stop actually putting yourself in that situation. Another couple of things that just to make sure you continually work on. There you go. I think we all did it. But paralyzing. Oh my God, I don't deserve anything because I stole $20 from my mother. And I know I make that sound really silly, but it's a really big thing. Like Elodie and I were joking yesterday about lying as kids. And I remember my sister asking me if I'd eaten chocolate and me staring her blankly in the face. No, I have not eaten chocolate. I 100% have not eaten chocolate. And then her holding up a mirror and I had chocolate on my face. And those feelings of being a liar, especially around food, stayed with me for ages. So it's so important. Again, because I lied about eating the chocolate doesn't make me a bad person. It just means I lied about eating the chocolate. And maybe I shouldn't be fearful of speaking the truth about things. That we carry it forward and it becomes... Shame is one, for someone like me who's dealt with weight issues all her life, I can hand on my heart say a lot of feelings around shame, and I've mentioned a couple of things today, I have literally worn shame like a layer of lard. Every added kilo has been like a badge of shame, honor that I have walked around with. And I'm 45 and slowly but surely, and I really wish I'd dealt with this stuff years ago. Those of you who know a bit of my story, anyway, weight loss, blah, 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 blah. I wish I dealt with a lot of this stuff before really kickstarting my weight loss journey. So, because if you don't deal with those horrific emotions like shame, it's like padding. It is mental and physical padding that we carry through life. And that padding, just like that padding, if you've got enough padding, it stops you being able to put on a seat belt or a safety belt at one of those rides at a Disneyland or anything like that. Those layers of padding stop you walking into something in life, like completely, physically and mentally. So we've got to deal with it. We've got to deal with it. One of the ways to really help you deal with it is your self-talk and your self-compassion. So every time you're having that negative self-talk about being a terrible person, or I don't deserve X, Y, and Z because I did X, Y, and Z, separate, as I said, separate that behavior. And yes, I did a bad thing. That was a bad moment. That was a naughty thing. That was an illegal thing. That was a immoral thing. Whatever it is, that's a thing. It's not you. I am a good person who did a bad thing. That's how we need to move that circle of conversation around, and that will gradually, it's not going to happen overnight, but we'll gradually let that shame just dissipate, because we have to. You're not going to get anywhere in life if you're carrying it around. So the self-talk and the self-compassion, looking after yourself. So when you're having those moments of feeling like I'm a terrible person, I deserve shit because I am shit, you know. And I know I'm oversimplifying it when I say things like that, but I think you get what I mean. Look after yourself. Massage, bath, practice gratitude. Treat yourself to something to show yourself some love. Because the one thing when you're feeling in a constant circle of shame is you're not showing your shit. What is my problem with speaking? You're not showing yourself any love. And the less love you show yourself, the more shame you will feel. So teeny tiny things like buying a magazine you like and sitting down and spending half an hour reading it will make you feel that little bit of love, which will help clink away at those feelings of shame. So it's really important. And it's going to be different to everybody. For some people, that's going to be buying something nice. For some people, it's going to be a walk in a park. For some people, it's going to be meditation. For some people, it's going to be a bath and a glass of champagne. So whatever makes you feel deserving and loved by yourself. This is the really important thing. You cannot get rid of shame just by feeling love from others. Really, really important. You can have the most amazing partner in the world. You can have the most amazing friends and family in the world. You can have a kick-ass circle of lovers. Whatever it is not that external love. It's not going to help you remove shame shift the shame out of your life. Shift shame, I like that. Honesty, being honest with yourself about where you were, what you did, who you really are, is important, and continuing that honesty in everyday life. I'm more honest now than I've probably ever been in my life, especially with myself. And you've seen my life before about lying to yourself. Holy moly, I was an expert. So that honesty, really, really important. Again, gratitude, really, really important to practice. And if you're not like me at the point in your life when you can practice gratitude on a daily basis, just every couple of days, if you can think of something that you're happy about or grateful for, honestly, will help again. Just remove a little bit of that shame. And the big one, forgiveness. Now, I've done a whole live on forgiveness. So if you go back into the lives, you can have a look at it. Or if you go to samanthaheath.com, I think you can search in the search bar forgiveness and it'll probably come up with that live for you. Or have a look through it, because we have got all the transcripts of all the lives in there. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive the behavior to be able to move on from feeling shame. Really, really important. And the last one, I think, would be to look at your strengths and the stuff that's good about you. The more you can immerse yourself in the positive things about you, the better you'll feel. You know, yep, I may have taken $20, $50. I wonder if I'll ever remember how much it was. But I've got these other strengths. I have a vision. I've got these things I'm good at. I've got these strengths. I've got wisdom. I've got love. I've got all these great things. And the more I can think about those things, the less I can dwell on shame. So I hope that's helped some of you. I might do more on this. I don't know. I think it's a really, really big topic, shame. So happy 2020 again. So I know this is a deep one for day 2. Oh, sorry about that. No, I'm not going to say sorry about that. I needed to talk about this today. So if it's helped one person, deal a little bit more with shame, then my job is done. So have a great day. Mwah! And I will see you all tomorrow. From, where are we going to be tomorrow, Elodie?
Brussels.
Brussels. We'll be in Brussels tomorrow. So, bye.